In a world that supports more than 7 billion people, and more coming in all the time, the need for energy will only continue to grow. Clean, renewable power is the smartest way to go and is both friendly to ourselves and this beautiful planet we call home. Right now on Earth, only 11% of the power generated by mankind is of a renewable or alternative source. When we know that the sun deposits on the surface of the planet more energy than the human race can use in an entire year, we can all agree that there are viable alternative options to explore. Our population increases by more than 80 million people a year, and energy requirements double every 35 years. This is the time to truly embrace the new energy. Some of the brightest minds have discovered, or in the process of developing, some truly remarkable technologies aimed at tapping those sources. Most devices and new technologies are being designed to tap the potential of an already established source, the most prominent of those being solar, hydro, wind, and bio. Figuring out new and better ways of harnessing that potential is in fact the name of the game. Let's take a closer look at some of the more exciting ones out there today. One of the most exciting new technologies to appear are solar roadways. Shown here is the first of hopefully many more to come. Located in Cromony, North Holland, the path was designed as a test for larger scale applications. 6 months in, the reviews are looking great. In fact, better than expected. Generating enough power for 3 homes is not a bad start. We should see many more of these coming out in the near future.
So the first actual transparent solar glass. Pretty cool stuff. Designed by researchers at Michigan State University, this is the first truly transparent solar material. Not murky or foggy like other transparent quote-unquote solar materials have been in the past. This one actually allows all visible light to pass right through it and still makes electricity out of sunlight, which is kind of an oxymoron. In the past, generally if you're going to take light and make electricity from it, you have to absorb the light first. This does the same thing, but only in lights that are invisible to the human eye. So it traps the infrareds and ultraviolets while allowing visible light to pass right through it. Pretty neat. They expect this stuff to be used in the building of skyscrapers for windows, covering signposts along the freeways, cell phones, and laptops along the way. So we'll see where this goes. Definitely something to keep our eye out on. Wind turbines have been around for quite some time. They're one of the best technologies we have at this point for harnessing power from the wind. The problem is they have to be attached to the ground. Being attached to the ground, the wind at ground level tends to be gusty and at best not too reliable. So the idea here is to create a wind turbine that can float in the air. The higher you get, the stronger the wind. The more wind power we can harness, the more electricity we can make. 2, if it's not attached to the ground, it doesn't need to be spread out to avoid wind turbulence from one blade to the next or one tower to the next. These things can be deployed literally anywhere, just with a string to the ground holding it in place, and can get pretty high and grab a lot of electricity. So we should be seeing a whole lot of these or ideas like this come to fruition here in the future. Another twist on the traditional wind turbine is this guy. A bladeless wind turbine, based on an idea kind of off of a sailboat apparently. The idea here is that it uses a thin membrane and moves back and forth with the pulsing of the wind. They're 45% less expensive to make and more than twice as efficient as traditional bladed wind turbines. So pretty exciting. We'll see some of these coming out too. This one, Windstalks. When we think of a wind turbine, okay, the problem there is that wind turbines have to be spread out. As the wind passes through the blades of one turbine, it becomes turbulent and creates a funnel of turbulence. And the second or third wind turbines cannot be placed in a path of this turbulence. So it requires a whole lot of space. You need to spread out towers quite a bit to make them actually worthwhile. Windstalks take that completely out of the equation. Windstalks utilize the chaos and turbulence of the winds. And each one of these little sticks you see here in the picture can generate as much electricity as a single traditional wind turbine. Pretty amazing. Another amazing innovation is what we're calling the power pipes. You know, we have all this running water in the systems of our cities and our sewers and waterways and pipes. Why not figure out a way to tap into this continually moving water and harness it for electricity? Well, that's exactly what these folks have done. They've tapped into the kinetic energy of moving water to create electricity via these pipes with integrated generators and turbines. Amazing idea, something I'd like to see personally in every city built. Wave motion is yet another upcoming technology being looked at all around the world, in fact. Another reason I love Oregon. Here's Oregon, okay? This buoy that you're looking at right now is one of 10 planned to be installed off the coast of Reedsport, Oregon. Oregon actually started an initiative a couple years ago to create a utility scale wave farm. And the devices that they used were built in Canada, and unfortunately one sank. So kind of set the project back a little bit. Here we go again. This, what you're looking at, is the first of 9 planned being installed as we speak off the coast of Oregon to generate power from the waves. Pretty amazing. One of the coolest biological-based technologies coming to the forefront of science today is algae, believe it or not. Doesn't sound that entertaining, but it actually is pretty cool stuff. Algae, come to find out, can be grown on land that we otherwise can't use for any purpose. We can't live on, can't grow food on, so can't use. But we can use it to grow algae. The water required to grow algae can be water that is unfit for human consumption. So basically, we can use all of our waste stuff, waste land and waste water, to create a product that we can use to burn in our biofuel plants and make electricity from. How cool is that? The other nice thing is these ponds, these places where the algae is being grown, are great absorbers of CO2. So here we are throwing out all the CO2, carbon emissions into the atmosphere. Well, this stuff can help take it back out. Hopefully we see more of this coming up in the future. Another groundbreaking, sort of mind-boggling science is using plants to create solar cells. And this is like I say, is groundbreaking right now, but what science is doing, they're using a retrovirus to basically infect the cells of plants, specifically tobacco plants. These infected cells transform themselves into working solar cells. Okay, the plant is then cut down, dissolved into a solution. The special cells that were created are then harvested out of this solution, condensed, and then can be applied to any substrate. Basically, you can spray these cells on glass, on plastic, on whatever, and voila, you have a working solar panel. Doesn't last as long, but it is cheap and makes electricity, and how cool is that? Alternative energy technologies are really the way that this world is going to find to survive into the far future. We have endless possibilities and a fascinating potential of alternative technologies out there to use. There's a huge growth in it right now, and of all the ways that we can gain power to support our life and our planet, alternative sources, renewable sources, clean sources are the only sources that are both friendly to us and our world that we live on. Let's do our part, each one of us, to make sure that this is the world in which we all live. Thank you for watching.